and welcome to my channel. I am Andrea and this is Beyond the Pink Door. So it's Tuesday morning. I'm wearing my brand new top that I made on Sunday at the Quilt Yarn Stitch sewing retreat. Now I've spoken about this before and I took part in the first few weeks of it. I think this week was week 11 of it. So basically if you join the Quilt Yarn Stitch Facebook group on a Sunday, you can pop in and out for a number of hours and just participate in a little bit of chat and banter, and yeah, it's great fun, it's great motivation on a Sunday. So myself and Keris, my daughter, we sewed away here on Sunday. She was finishing a dress she had started during the week, and we'll talk about that in another vlog. And I made this sweatshirt, so I'm really pleased with it. It's made from a loopback French terry that I got from Quilt Yarn Stitch. It's got a lovely little glitzy thing on the top of the strawberries thing. God, I'm lost for words today. I think it's a bit too early for my brain to engage with, yeah. And I've also added a plain sleeve because I'm trying a little bit of colour blocking, which I never thought of doing before until Kristen from Dahlia Sewciety, who I adore on YouTube, and she mentioned it. So when she spoke about it, I thought of this fabric instantly. I got 1.5 meters of this fabric and I kind of thought, if I do a colour block sweatshirt, I should have enough to make another one out of 1.5 meters. So yeah, that's what I did. So I love a raglan sleeve, and I know there's loads of lovely raglan sleeve sweatshirts out there, but I'm really tight-fisted when it comes to a really simple pattern. I mean, I don't mind paying 10-12 euro for a complicated dress pattern, but I don't really want to spend that much on a sweatshirt. So I went to my trusty Pattydoo website, and I've spoken a lot about Pattydoo on here because I tend to go there to look for nice basic patterns. So the Pattydoo website came up trumps with the Janus zip up hoodie. Now it wasn't exactly what I wanted, but it was close enough that I knew I could make a few changes and end up with this sweatshirt. So what I did was I cut the front out on the fold, obviously, and left out where the zip was going to go, and I shortened up the sleeves because I like a 3/4 length sleeve this time of the year because it's quite chilly today, but I don't feel like a full-on sweatshirt is what's needed. And I left off where the ribbing should go on the bottom because I like a nice boxy sweatshirt. And then I had the fun of doing the neckband. So obviously on the hoodie there's a hood and a zip, so there's no neckband. So I used my 4/5 formula and I measured my neck length. So when all of this was all sewn together, I measured around the edge and it came to 20 inches. So a very handy number. It's 20 divided by 5 gives me 4 inches. And I multiplied that by 4 and I got 16. So basically the neckband is 4/5 of the size of the neck edge. And that worked out perfectly. So I got a nice flat neckband. I think I cut it 2 inches so that it ended up, after the seam allowance, it's ended up about 3/4 of an inch high. So I think it sits really nice. So that was on Sunday. I also cut out another Pattydoo Stella top out of this lovely fluffy backed sweatshirting fabric that I got from Fabric Romance. Now I had intended to do this on Sunday as well, but I've been suffering a little bit with my neck lately. I've been doing a lot of computer work and I tend to stoop over my computer to see it properly. So I've got a sort of a burning pain across my back. I've even got it now at the moment, or across my neck. But yeah, so I couldn't face doing any more sewing on Sunday, which was a bit of a shame. So the Stella top, and I've had a few questions in the comments on my last few vlogs. So Pattydoo has 2 websites basically. One is in English and one is in German. And I tend to go to the German one because all her patterns are on the German website. Now the entire website is in German. I don't know, do you have the option to translate? I never think of it. I just look for the pictures, I see what I want, I download the pattern. It's $2.99 as I say, I'm really tight-fisted and I'm really happy to pay $2.99 and then adapt it to fit. And they always turn out lovely. So yeah, so that's this sweatshirt. I think I'm going to make another Stella with what's left over, because yeah, I really like my Stellas. I really like these. And yeah, so that's what I have planned for. I'm going to make that today. That won't take me long today because I've actually made them so many times. I can make them in my sleep. So yesterday I bought a pattern or two. So I bought the Landro pants pattern. Now I bought this for the shorts because I have been looking for shorts with pockets, and I really like these. I have two pairs of ready-made shorts from H&M that I bought years ago, and they're like a linen-y mix. Goodness knows what they're made of, but I just keep going to wear them, and they've got pockets on them and they're real casual. So I feel, you know, I love wearing them, so I'd love to make some more. I have made other shorts. I made them last year and they don't have pockets or anything, so they're quite a plain shorts. They've got pockets at the front but none on the back, but I wanted more like a cargo looking shorts, like my ready to wear ones. So yeah, I think this one is going to be perfect. I'm really looking forward to making these. It's got the fly front, and I know that you can get another add-on pack to do the zip, but yeah, I think I'll figure out how to put a zip in instead. I don't fancy the buttons at the front. But that said, I may. You never know. My mind changes on a minute-to-minute basis. And the other pattern I have that I really love, and I know I showed it in a previous vlog when it first came with the Simply Sewing magazine, is this, which I really like, and I've cut it out in this Atelier Brunette that I got from Fabric Romance recently. So I ordered a metre. It was the last metre and I got lucky because there's just over the metre in it. I liked it so much I just wanted to have the metre and see what could I make from it. Now it had gone out of stock, but I think Steph has it in stock again, and I have to say I've never had Atelier Brunette before and I really like it. It's just a little bit outside of my zone of spending. I'm so tight, it's ridiculous. So yeah, I've cut that out now. I squeezed it out. I had no intentions of doing the long sleeves because I just think that's just too much for me at the moment. So I've cut out a sleeve that will probably go to just above my elbow, I think. And what I'm planning to do in the middle of it, because there's a drawstring and a rouleau loop and there's elastic casing and whatnot going on, I'm dying to try some shearing. So I'm going to try it out on this top, and I've watched the Stitch Sisters tutorial. I will link it below because it was really good. Everything and more about how to do it is in that little tutorial. So I watched that this morning, and I'm going to do some shearing elastic in the middle of it. So yeah, wish me luck. So I just had to come on to show you my shearing. So I've gone by the instructions of the Stitch Sisters and it's worked, and I'm just doing it on my top now at the moment. So I just thought I would tell you how I've done it. So I wound my bobbin by hand, so anti-clockwise. My bobbins have a top and a bottom, so if they go in the wrong way they won't actually work, so I made sure I did that the right way. So I have my bobbin in. I've set my stitch to 3.5, so normally I stitch with 2.5, so I put it up to 3.5. And what I did to mark my first line on my dress, because I have awful difficulties with marking pens, they seem to just disappear so quickly, and I have a chalk pen that I find very difficult to either wash out or rub out. So what I did was I ironed along, I don't know if you can see that there, but I ironed a crease, and I'm actually stitching along the crease as my first row. So I've done a little bit already, and the key is not to pull the fabric, to just let it go through. Now it makes a little noise, it's actually quite noisy, but the Stitch Sisters did say that, and I'm glad they said that. So I'm just stitching along my creased line. gathering up behind. Just see, can you see this? Oh, there. I'm just guiding it through. And it's gathering up nicely behind. Now when you come to the end, the best thing to do is to pull out far more than you normally would, because of course it springs back, and nip it off. And then I've a lot of static in my hair today, I don't know what's going on. And then voila, there's the first row done. So I have done some on the other side of this top. God, sorry, this is a mess. I've done 5 rows. So what I did was I did my first foundation row, which is what I've just done, and I did each row then just by eye after that. So I think it's turned out really nicely. I'm really pleased with that. And it springs nicely. So what I've done is I've done the front, I've left the side seams, and I'm doing the back, and then I'm going to sew up the side seams, and that should hold it all into position. And when that's done, then I'm going to give it a blast of steam, and apparently that pulls it in even tighter. So that's a win-win for today. I'm really pleased with that. Learned a new technique. Hello, it's Wednesday and I'm in my new top that I made yesterday. I'll show you with my shearing elastic, the little peplum. It's turned out quite cute, I think. I don't know, it's one of those tops. It was full of highs and lows, to be honest. Highs in that the shearing elastic was just such great fun because it just worked. And when I put the iron on it, I didn't actually touch the fabric, I just steamed it. It just all shrank in and it went all lovely and even. It was just such fun. The lows were, it turned out absolutely blooming massive. Just massive. It's still too big, but yeah, it's one of those things. I probably should have tried it in a different fabric first, but anyway, look at, I didn't get on with it. So yeah, I made it from this pattern, and it's a Sew Girl pattern, and I've used another pattern of hers before, and I cut out a size 12 and it just fit perfectly. But this is a massive size 12, absolutely massive. I measure up to the 12, and I think it's just got loads of ease. So yeah, I tried it on when it was done. I did French seams down the side because I was afraid in case a normal seam that the elastic would just go ping and start opening from the sides. So I did a French seam on it. So I'm hoping that the 2 layers of sewing will hold in the elastic at the sides. It just ended up massive up here. Now, of course, I looked at the pattern and it looked big on the model, but you know, sometimes they do. But yeah, it was absolutely massive. So I think I saved it. The neck is quite low, but it's okay. It was lower before I fixed it. Well, half fixed it. It's been saved is all you could say. So anyway, the shoulders were way too wide. They were just hanging down there. So I literally pulled up a piece, put a pin in it, and it sat in the right place. The neck was really, really wide. So again, I pulled it in. What I've done at the back is I've sewn 2 darts just at the back of the neck, just to pull it in. And what I did up here was I pinched in a piece underneath. I wonder if you can see it on here. So I pinched in a little seam. Where is it? And I sewed it. I sewed it to here, and I left like a little pleat, and then I top stitched it. So it kind of suits because the gather's coming up from the shearing, and it there, I think it works. It brings it into a place where I'm going to be able to wear it. So yeah, it's done. I think I'll make it again because I really enjoy doing the shearing around the middle, and I love the idea of it as a top. I will raise the neckline just a little bit, and I'm going to make the size 8 or the smallest size that's in it, because it's just enormous and it feels very enormous back here. And when I pull it towards the back, I'm pulling quite a bit of fabric. So I think it'll still be nice and sheared in a smaller size. So yeah, that's it. In the meantime, I've got my McCalls patterns I had ordered from Minerva Craft. So they arrived well in time this time, much quicker than the last time. And I know they're overrun with orders. And they arrived, I suppose, in time for me to actually make. So without further ado, without further waffle, this is the pattern I had ordered. So it's one of the new McCalls patterns. I'm going to make that one there, and I'm going to make it in the other Atelier Brunette fabric I have. I love this one. Love this. And I can visualize it in that. I just love that. Now, I had looked at the pattern and thought that I would make the size 12. On the envelope I measure up to the size 14. I even go into the 16 for the waist. But on looking at the pattern pieces and the finished pattern measurements, if I go for a 14, I'm going to end up with about 6 inches of ease, which is just massive again. So I don't want to end up with a massive dress. So I'm going to trace, which is something I never do. And I have to say, I absolutely hate it. I would much prefer to stick a PDF together. I would much prefer to get out the sellotape. If I could print that off and stick it together, I would prefer to do that. But anyway, there's some things we like, some things we hate. We're all different. So I'm going to trace the bodice parts of it, and I'm going to trace them, and I'm going to try a size 12. And because I love this fabric so much, and because I'm actually quite gutted that it hasn't turned out as I thought it would. And I think I've just been lucky really with the last few things that I've made, that I've just cut out the pattern. I've gone on a whim and they've worked. So I'm going to make a wearable toile. I love this fabric. I have loads of it. And I'm going to make a wearable toile out of this, because this is a viscose twill, as is this. So I feel whatever way this turns out, I'm going to judge then how to make my really nice fabric. There's nothing wrong with this. This is really lovely as well, but this wouldn't have been as expensive. So I'm going to trace and make a size 12 and see how that goes. I think possibly the 10 might fit, but I don't want to take that chance. So I'd rather make 12. If it's a little bit too big, I can take it in. Hopefully it'll be perfect. And then I'll have 2 lovely dresses. I've held the skirt up against myself, and the length seems to be just the way I kind of like it. So yeah, that's my next plan. And in the meantime of my thoughts about the Lander pants, I have found this fabric that I have in my wardrobe. This lovely, I think it's a viscose tencel or a linen tencel. I got this from Anne-Marie last year in the Crafty Studio. And if these Lander pants turn out lovely, they're going to be really nice. Well, Lander shorts. They're going to be really nice with this top. I think they're a really nice match. And this is kind of a denim-y colour, so it's going to go with everything anyway, isn't it? So yeah, that's the plan. I think this top is going to be lovely on the warm days where you just want to have something nice and cool and loose. And it's definitely loose. So yeah, that's my next few plans. Hello, it's Friday evening and I've been working on my McCalls 7970 today, and I just thought I'd give you a little update. It's almost finished and I'll just show you what it looks like. So what I thought was a wrap dress wasn't a wrap dress, it's a mock wrap dress. So there's no wrap over here at the front. So I scanned through the pattern. I didn't really read the instructions because I kind of thought, sure, I've made wrap dresses. I've made loads of wrap dresses. They're all the same. They've got a wrap over, they've got 2 fronts, a back, 2 front skirts, back skirt. Sure, what's different about this one? So I cut it out like that, and as I was doing the ruffles on the front and I was putting the facing on, I was kind of thinking ahead to the skirt, and I thought, oh, I wonder how is the front skirt faced with the ruffle? And then I got to the ruffle part on the skirt and I realised that there was no wrap over on the front at all, that there was a big side, a ruffle and a little small side. So the three of them, here we have one piece, the ruffle piece, and then the side piece. So I had cut out two. I just hadn't read it properly at all. I'm just having a bad week. So I recut out the narrower side. That was fine. I've put all the dress together. It's very big. I cut it out a size 12. Now bearing in mind that I measured up to a size 14 and I cut out a 12. It's really big. Like, it's very, very wide here. It feels very, very large. The skirt, I don't want this tight by any means, but it's very big. And I hate the fact, of course, naturally, that you can see the back of the fabric. Now, it doesn't help that there's a huge difference between the back and the front, so really I should have cut out two and sandwiched them together. But yeah, I think if I tack that up there and tack that one there, definitely takes the harm out of it, and I'll do the same here on the skirt and that improves it. I think I'm actually going to put the sleeves into this one because I think it just feels so big that I'm going to have to do a lot of alterations to it to make it sleeveless. So I think I'm going to cut in a little bit narrower and put the sleeves in because I have enough fabric. And there's enough fabric there to make sleeves, but nothing else really. So that piece of fabric is redundant anyway. So I think I'll actually make the sleeves. Now, generally when I would make a ruffle, I would overlock it and I would do a little hem. I would turn it over and sew it. But I thought I'm going to do a little rolled hem this time, just because I haven't done that in ages, because I've just been too lazy, but I'm trying to make a conscious effort now to, really take my time making things and go to a little extra effort, like doing the rolled hem. So I did it. Now, if Patrick and Esme on the sewing bee had a look closely at it, they wouldn't be too impressed. But it's not bad for having not done a rolled hem in a long time. So I turned over a small little bit and sewed it close to the edge and then turned a second hem. I know there's a rolled hem foot that I can get, but I don't have one at the moment, and that's how I did it. So I'll do that on the edge of the sleeves as well. And I will size down greatly to remake this in my Atelier Brunette. If I do, I'm not sure. I don't know if I love it enough to make it in the Atelier Brunette. We'll see. I'll see when it's finished. I'll make a decision. So I kind of thought, all right, that it wasn't going to fit really well when I tried it on my mannequin. So I just thought I'd take this opportunity to show you how I size up my mannequin. Hello, so it's Sunday morning here. It's a really lovely sunny day. Wasn't expected. My weather app didn't tell me I was going to get sun today. I thought it was going to be raining. So yesterday afternoon I took advantage of the good day and I went out to my back garden and I hacked down an awful lot of overgrowth. And I ache in places today that I didn't think it was possible to ache. I overdid it again. And as a result of that, I didn't sleep very well last night because I just ached. And very similarly to the time when I moved my sewing room up here from downstairs, I just overdid it. I did too much on the one day. When I start something, I just want to see it finished. Now, I saw it finished, but yeah, I ache. So this morning I'm going to edit this week's vlog. And I've just realised that I did a little talk through about how I set up my mannequin. I did that on Friday and I didn't record it. So I'm going to do that again now. So here's the ill-fated McCalls dress. I can't lie, I'm not liking it. I don't think I'm going to make my beautiful Atelier Brunette into this. I just think there's a little bit too much fuss for me. I'm constantly tempted to try new patterns, and do you know, sometimes I have to stop and think, am I better off to stay with styles that I know that suit me and I like this dress, my Forget-Me-Not Valerie dress, which I adore and I've made 3 of. I'll just stand up and show you. I think it's a style that suits me and flatters my figure. I've added a ruffle to the end of it because there's a ruffle in the original design, and it's got a waistline, and I just think it suits me. I like it. I put it on and I feel good and I feel I look nice. I think there's just far too much fuss about this dress for me. Now I am going to fix this dress. I'm going to add the sleeves, and I feel after spending £10 on the pattern I should revisit it again and make it fit me. So yeah, it's far too big, but it's made me think that no, I don't want to use my Atelier Brunette on that. So I've been doing a bit of looking through Pinterest, and anybody who follows me knows I'm a big fan of Reese Witherspoon's style. I think she's about the same size as me, so I know that every time I see something that she wears I think, oh yeah, I really like that, I really like her style. And she wears a lot of dresses like the Forget-Me-Not Valerie dress, and I think this would be lovely in my Atelier Brunette. Just going to grab it. Because it's a good combination. I love this fabric, I love this dress, so yeah, I think that's what I'm going to do. But I'm going to make a change, because as much as I love this dress, I feel for this time of the year when it's a really warm day, I feel this is just a little bit too high. I sometimes feel a little bit choked. So I have an idea, because the front of this dress is actually quite plain as well, and it's lovely in a pattern like this, an all over pattern, but I think it's a bit too plain for this. Now maybe it's not, I just feel it's a bit too plain. So what I'm going to do after scouring Pinterest is I'm going to do a centre seam on it, and I'm going to leave a slit open here at the top so that it will look quite closed, because I just don't like a v-neck, and especially after making this I have a lot of lines here on my chest and I feel it's just too exposed. I just personally don't like the look of it, so I'm going to leave some open here. I may veer it off slightly so that it's got a slight little slit even when it's closed, but I think it'll just give me that little bit of movement. I feel, yeah, very enclosed with this. So I'm definitely going to put the ruffle on the bottom, and I'm definitely going to put the ruffle on the sleeves because I just adore that feature. So yeah, I think this is definitely my tried and tested pattern. I love it, and do you know, why fix it if it's not broken? Did I say that the wrong way around? Yes. So without further ado, I'm going to take the dress off and I'm just going to show you how I size up my mannequin, and it works for me. So here's my Dressmakers Mannequin in all her glory. She's an adjustoform mannequin which I bought a couple of years ago, and I find her so handy. Now, years and years and years ago, I had a Dressmakers Mannequin that my mother had bought for me as a Christmas present, and I just thought this is going to be so handy. Rather than me trying on clothes constantly to see are they fitting when I'm trying a new pattern, I can just try them on her. But they never fit her. I couldn't get her to fit like they fit me because I'm self-taught and I have to learn things the hard way and just through experience. And so I stopped using my mannequin. I just thought, oh God, how do people use it? It's just useless. So over the years anyway, I have found out that your upper bust measurement is one of the more important measurements to have. So in my early days of dressmaking, I used to set the dial here to my bust measurement, my waist and my hips, and then nothing fit me because there's a difference between your upper and your mid bust measurements, which are just so important. So When I set up my mannequin now, I set this dial to my upper bust measurement. I set my waist and my hips as normal, but I've added a bra to her and I've added some chicken fillets into her to pad out the bra, because there's a difference of 2 inches between my upper bust and my mid bust. And this is the magic part. This is what makes it all work. So basically, if I had set this dial to my bust measurement, all up here would just be far too big. And that's the key. And that's what I didn't know years ago when I used my other mannequin. And now that's why everything just fits her. So when I'm trying a new pattern now, it's brilliant to just pop it on, get a quick look to see what adjustments need to be made. And then I know whether I have to fit it on or not, because before I had her, I would often be sewing half-dressed just in my bra, because I have to keep putting it on, taking it off, trying it, tweaking it. Now I get a really good indication when it's on her. So she is set up like this, and I adjust her when I change measurements. And yeah, she comes in so handy. So I've also set up one for my daughter as well recently, because she started sewing for herself. And we did the very same thing. We did the same measurements. We put on a bra, we padded it out with, I had some like toy wadding, toy stuffing. And yeah, she's finding it really handy as well, because I don't want her to be put off by any part of sewing. And me, I was often put off by the fact of having to try something on, take it off, get dressed, go back to the sewing machine, get undressed, try it on. Yeah, it's a pain. So yeah, I hope that makes sense, and I hope that's of help. So thank you so much for watching this video. If you don't subscribe, hit the subscribe button. And if you enjoy my videos, give them a like also, I'd love it. And also there is the notification bell that you can hit, so that when I upload a video that you will be notified. So yes, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!